if you guys have the patience to listen to my story today, because I have a long story to tell. I'm about to do my makeup. I'm going out. Anyway, let me start this matches. If you have time, then bear with me. Let's talk. Like, I don't know if you knew me, 2017, 2018, I started a fashion line, a brand. It was called Green and Co. You get? I did it, honestly, I had extra money and I needed to invest it in something. So I started doing it. I did start doing my brother. I think we bought our first sewing machines. Okay, I decided to drop the filter because it's going to be me moving as I'm doing my makeup and I don't want it to move. I started the fashion line. I remember it was called Green and Co. We used to make work clothes. And obviously, you guys know me. I'm not the best with things I have to do in my hand. Wearing makeup, doing lashes, hair. I can't do any of those things. I'm just not a hands-on person. I have friends like that, but I'm not one of them. We started it, and I'm not going to lie. It was doing well. Everything I touch surely must be blessed. That's the promise that's Abraham's promise that God made to me when I became born again, as to you as well. I bought a new primer, by the way. I was meant to buy Baby Skin by Maybelline, but I went to like 5 places. I didn't find it. That's why I bought Zaron. They said the Zaron too is good. I pray I don't regret it. You guys, I don't know how to sew. I don't know anything about sew. I don't know one thing about sewing. I'm not even going to lie. But we started the business anyway. We hired tailors. We had our first tailor. Our first tailor was Buki, one Undo girl. Ooh, this is slapping. This is acting like baby skin on my face. This is the Zaron primer. Ooh. So yeah, our first tailor was Bosse. And you guys know I was already selling shoes at the time. I just had a bit of extra space in the same building where I was selling shoes. My parents always have lots of extra space to give me. Something I love about them. Anyway, so yeah, Bosse was good. She's just very slow. Acted like a civil servant. Sorry to civil servants, but you know the civil servant stereotype. Yeah, she just acted very slow with her work. Everything just forever to turn over. But she was a decent person and she was respectful. But towards the end, she wanted to open her own fashion line, of course, as most tailors want to, and it's fine. So she started acting funny when she realized that she wanted to start her own fashion line. She started acting funny. Do you guys do your brows first or you do your face first? I always do my brows and my eyes first and I move to my face. Anyway, she knew she was starting her own company. She kind of started acting up a bit. She was slow. So we just had to let her go even sooner than we had planned because it was crazy. So I started hunting for another tailor and I went to get Key Market. So it's still 2018, I think. So 2018, yes. I went to get Key Market. Found a guy called Farouk. He made a dress for me and the dress was really nice. So I hired him as my tailor. And even though my brother was, my business partner, he was a silent partner in that all he did was just bring cash if I asked. And that was it. And honestly, I don't know, everything I touch, I just find a way to bless it. People are coming. People are buying clothes. A lot. We used to make a lot of clothes for people. But you guys remember I said in the beginning, I don't know how to sew. I didn't know how to sew. So I was at the mercy of my tailor, of Farouk. And Farouk, even though he was a great tailor, he knew the job, he had the skills. Farouk wanted to be a rapper. So when we had jobs, we had deadlines, you know what Farouk would be doing? Farouk would be going to shows that would feature up and coming musicians. Farouk would now be, 2 days to the deadline. That's when Farouk would now show up and we'll start rushing. We'll start doing helter-skelter. It was so wild. The adrenaline was always, in fact, I was always screaming. I was always on the phone. My blood pressure was always so high. It was ridiculous. And my husband, I was feeling it so badly. I was so unhappy about it. Farouk used to stress me every weekend. I didn't realize how stressed out I was. Nobody should come and correct my makeup here. I'm not a makeup artist. I sell things. I'm an entrepreneur. I'm a businesswoman. That's what I do. I'm also a lawyer. I'm not a makeup artist. Nobody should come and tell me, hey, something. I don't know how to do this. I don't know how to do it. Just leave me. I'm learning small. At least I was not here. I didn't even know these ones that I know before. I didn't know them. Anyway, back to what I was saying. So I didn't even realize how stressed I was until I had finally walked away from the situation. So I was worried about me. I just I just had Oinkon not too long before then, and I already had high postpartum blood pressure. So he was wondering, why are you dealing with this? I used to scream all the time. Farouk would always come back late, always turn in jobs late. I provided accommodation for him. He would leave the accommodation to go and sing somewhere, to go and rap somewhere. Things were always late. They were always beautiful, I'm not gonna lie, but they were always late. But less than a year in, I was like, I have to stop. He was like, baby, the stress is too much. You have two options. Either you learn to sew, or you quit this thing and continue later when you actually know how to sew or have enough tailors at your disposal. He was like, this guy is stressing you. I was still dragging. I was like, no, baby, forget about that. Don't kill my dreams. Support me, baby. So he was like, you know what? Do whatever you want to do, but this is how I feel about this issue. The stress is too much for you. Blah, 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 blah. Anyway, we spoke. I didn't want to listen. It was that one day. We had a deadline for, I think, a Wednesday. Farouk knew about the order. We bought the fabric. We're excited. She had even paid upfront. Very wonderful woman. I don't even know her. I've never met her before. In fact, most of the people that buy things from me, I've never met them before. That's warm, wonderful people. So Farouk knew about the order. We had a deadline. So I was like, okay, well, Farouk always comes late. So I just gave him, he finished the workshop in 2 days. 2 days came. 1 day came. The day came. Farouk was nowhere to be found. I've been trying Farouk, calling him. You guys, I think I have to go off this video because I'm running late and I'm not doing my makeup. I'm just gisting. I was calling Farouk. Do you know, when I finally reached Farouk the night of the deadline, the same day, Farouk now told me that he is in Ghana. You guys, that he's in Ghana. I was like, wait, you know about the job he have? He was like, yeah, he knows, but can we just tell the customer to wait that in Ghana for a show? Well, that was it for me. I called the woman. I begged her. I apologized. I refunded her money. I told my husband, I was like, baby, you were right from the beginning. I'm not doing it again. I'm like, this person will not kill me. So that's how I quit Green and Co Fashion. I stopped it. I was telling myself that I really want to do this thing. I really enjoyed it. And it was actually very nice. People were very, very, very happy with what we were making. People loved the styles. But just had to say my goodbye and focus on the shoe shop and everything. Later I found out that I didn't have any regrets because it was fine at the end of the day. Why is Lola telling a 2018 story, 2017, 2018 story? It's because this, my God, is a very full circle God. A very full circle. I don't know. I don't even know how to explain. In fact, these stories are already getting too long. Should I make it a YouTube video and watch it on YouTube? Huge. My mom has a huge wardrobe for her clothes. And it's filled up. Then she now has another room. This is a whole room that has extra closets in it with lots of extra clothes that maybe she wears once in 2 or 3 years, or some she doesn't wear them anymore. But if you tell her that she's not wearing them anymore, she will start protesting. So I was like, it's like I'm becoming like my mom. I have so many things that I don't use, that some I could give away, which, if you guys remember, this time at the beginning of this year, I think February, March, I gave out a lot of my clothes. I gave out so many Ghana Must Goes. I didn't even know we were going to do happy feet. I gave out so many Ghana Must Goes of clothes. There was some IDP camps that we sent to. Then the rest of it I sold. The ones that were in really good condition, almost pristine condition, I sold. And that's how the CEO's Closet started. That was the idea. Until I think about 4 weeks into it, about 4 weeks into selling my own clothes, people started sending me DMs. Please, can you help me sell my own clothes too? Oh, please, I have these clothes in my wardrobe that I haven't worn in months, I haven't worn in years. Can you sell them for me? And at first I was like, no, why would I do that? In fact, I remember, was it Idara or Wumi, one of my assistants at the time, telling me that I should do it. I was like, no, that's how much money can I even possibly make from that? That is a waste of my time. I'm not interested in it. So I was at the time, at first I was averse to it. And then I think I remember the day I even shared on my Insta stories. I was like, guys, see what people are saying. No, what should I do? A lot of people are saying, oh, they have similar problems. So I started researching into it. I did a lot of research as to, the viability of the business, the feasibility of the business. So I did a lot of feasibility studies, Google searches, watched a lot of YouTube videos about whether it made sense or not. At the time, what I was trying to figure out was if it made business sense. But I discovered something else that was off the chain. So it wasn't just about making business sense, it was about the world. I learned that just wearing your clothes for 9 months longer expands the lifetime of your clothes and contributes to reducing carbon emissions in the world. It was less about even making money and more about like what thrifting contributes to the world. Do you know that all these mass-produced fashion brands like Zara, H&M, Forever 21, Fashion Nova, they are some of the worst culprits when it comes to degradation of our environment. Do you know that they even use a system of production that ensures that the water in the world, the water and the land in the world is polluted? So there is so much, there's so much irresponsibility, so much carelessness as far as the fashion industry is concerned. And we who continue to buy, continue to invest in those, in fast fashion, it's called fast fashion, where we're contributing more or less to the degradation of our earth. Every year, on average, there's an estimated 9 billion items of clothing that are sitting idle in people's wardrobe. And this clothing has already been made, the water has already been used, the material have already been used. And it's one of the best ways to contribute to reducing the 10% of carbon emission that the fashion industry is responsible for in the world is by wearing your clothes for longer. So as you're wearing your clothes for longer, if you can't wear your clothes for longer, then don't throw your clothes away. Either you give them away or you sell them. Because when you do that, you expand the lifetime. You reduce your individual contribution to carbon emissions by 20 to 30%. Every piece of clothing is more valuable than you think. To you, you see it and you see clothes. But when you think about it in terms of the world and the resources that God gave us in the world, an article of clothing is water, microfibers, it's raw materials, it's cotton. Just think about everything that goes into the process of making one. And do you know that every year 21 billion tons, do you know what a ton is? Then talk about 21,000 tons, then 21 million tons. But what I'm really saying is 21 billion tons of clothes end up in landfills every year. And what are landfills? Landfills are heaps and heaps, mountains of waste that contributes to the degradation of our environment and blocking land. This is landfills. I'm talking about trash, like heaps and heaps of trash of clothes every year. So I started to think about how the CEO's Closet can actually play a more important role, a role of impact more than money, a role of impact on the world by helping people to declutter their wardrobes. We know you're not going to wear it again, it's fine. I know I'm not going to wear it again, it's fine. I don't expect you to wear it again. You post it again, you post it on Instagram, everybody has seen it, probably don't want to wear it again. But do you know that if you sold it, you would make money? Okay, and then you would also protect the earth, because the lifespan of that particular item of clothing is being expanded, thereby reducing the need to buy new clothes, reducing the need to make or mass produce new clothes that are primarily responsible for the carbon emissions that we're talking about. This thing is a long conversation. It's not today's conversation, but that's what I've done with the CEO's Closet. I've changed it now to Green & Co. Back to Green & Co. It's the same name as the old one that we used to do before, but now it's different to the extent that it's focused on not producing fashion like I used to do before with Farouk and Bosse and all those people, but now it's based on taking things that we already have and making them more sustainable to protect the world, to help you who's selling your stuff to make money. I hope with these few points I've been able to convince and not confuse you. Everything was going fine and I was excited about the plans and the ideas, and I was thinking of all the plans I was going to put in place, the money I was going to invest in making Green & Co come alive. And I was convinced that God wanted me to do it. But I got even further confirmation this morning when somebody told me that she made a post about me on the 18th of November. It was in her close friends group, so I didn't see it. I'm not in her close friends group. She now told me that 18th of November she made a post about me and how she's so excited about what I'm doing in terms of the CEO's Closet for sustainable fashion and environmental protection. She didn't think she'd even ever show it to me. She just made the post. And she was so shocked when she woke up this morning and she saw that this meant that CEO's Closet was now going to become green and cool. So it was like the confirmation that I sort of needed.